Hello. I've got the little ear clamps back on. I appreciate it looks a bit weird, but it works, so they're being used. I don't quite know what's going to come out on this one. There's two main areas here to discuss. First of all, we'll talk about everybody. Now, it's not everybody, but a lot of people in this world swear by Jesus. Their whole lives are because of Jesus. They surrendered to Jesus on some mental level. And their life becomes devotional to Jesus. Now that's fine, but I don't understand what experience in those people's lives have taken place. I don't understand what experience in those people's lives has taken place. For them to surrender to Jesus, give up all authority and control in this world, and say it's all fine because I know Jesus exists. And for that reason, it's all love and it's all compassion. Forget about the injustices around the world. Forget about the wars. It doesn't matter. Jesus exists. I know it. And my life is gold as a result. It's the same with God. If it's not Jesus, it's God in that picture. Because of God this, because of God that. And I don't want to belittle anyone. It's just someone hearing it, I don't understand how that's possible. Before I get on to the next bit, I've got to disclose, my life tells me I know the reincarnation of Jesus. I know him. He's a good guy. Massive heart. And from the perspective of describing the reincarnation of Jesus, I don't know what else to add to that. Because he's not doing a lot. Not on the surface. And that really ties it in. If we're praying on God and Jesus, we'd expect to see a better world, some miracles, less suffering. But I know the reincarnation of Jesus. My life has told me this person that you knew many years ago is Jesus, and I send him a message every so often. But I've not been able to process that I know Jesus and what that means until about a week or two ago, when I found out that a guru in India claiming he's the reincarnation of Shiva. I say he's claiming. He hides the statements within his message that say, I am Shiva. So it's not cut and shut, everybody knows, okay, he's Shiva. No, you've really got to be listening to hear that. But I believe him. So all of a sudden I'm looking at Sadhguru, I'm saying, my God, Shiva's alive. We're all fine. I've still got to do my bit. I won't stop. But Shiva exists. I don't know who ranks above in spiritual powers, Jesus or Shiva, but Shiva was blue, from what I understand. I could be wrong on that one. But Shiva was a god. Jesus had beef with God, problems with God. The point is, I saw Sadhguru claiming he's Shiva. I'm like, oh my God, I need to be devotional now. I need to sort myself out. I can't let my problems be a problem anymore. But the truth is, there's still a problem after a couple of weeks of trying, but it sort of brought up the question though. Well, okay, you just found out Shiva exists and you're like this. Why haven't you been like that all these years knowing that Jesus exists? And that's really my question. What's the point of Jesus if he's not doing anything? The man goes on holiday all year round. That's all I know of his life at the moment from all those years ago when I see him online on Facebook. That's the current contact. Jesus is on Facebook if you look hard enough. He's not called Jesus in this life. I don't know if I'm privileged to know Jesus when I look at my life and there's so much suffering that I've gone through personally in my life. I look at the world and there is still so much suffering in the world. Now a little thought pops into my head because I'm spiritual, so I believe I work with spirit. And I believe that Jesus has had a massive input into my life. He's one of the biggest contributors to my ability to communicate. I could never communicate before, but over the years it's like in the back of my head, Jesus in the background, giving me the courage to be able to find my own voice. So that's great, but I've gone through a lot of suffering. Am I getting it wrong? Because everybody that talks about Jesus is dumbfounded by the man. A living God, essentially. Performer of miracles. Raiser of the dead if need be. And Are people hiding what Jesus is secretly doing for them in their own lives and just not sharing it? Yeah, I believe in Jesus. Why do you believe in Jesus? Because I had this experience and he talks to me now in my head, or I had this vision and this thing, or this thing happens in my life where I just know it's Jesus. Give me something. I listen to Russell Brand all the time and he talks up Jesus. And I kind of want to hit myself when I hear it, because I'm like, well, what's Jesus doing for you, Russell? How have you found Jesus? You're such an articulated man, very intelligent. What is it within all of that intelligence that you're willing to surrender being human and Russell and lay down to Jesus and be happy to openly speak about the love of Jesus in your own life? I don't understand it. Share it. Tell me. Or is it because we're all insane and the pain of life and our own physical bodies is so extreme, we just go insane and say, I believe in Jesus, man, it's easy. I haven't contacted him yet. Not since the whole Shiva thing happened, and it's like, right, no. You've got a living God that's been looking out over you for the past many years. What do I do? You've seen these live streams. All I do is complain about life. And I know Jesus in person. I haven't had some weird experience in my life. I've met a man that I didn't know at the time was Jesus. I knew him for about a year and a half, 2 years, where I saw him all the time. And then our lives separated. And I see him on Facebook every so often, and every blue moon or so, there's a message between us. Should I be angry at him? Because that's one of the things that's right there as the first thing to really do, be angry at Jesus. What the F? What the F? How are you, Jesus, with your miracles, and you've allowed me to go through this living hell? And I know as a result of my living hell and the injustices in the world, a lot of other people going through living hells. You're a bit of a joke. You died for all of our sins. You died for all of our sins. And it was such a waste of time. Sorry, it was such a waste of time. There's a genocide going on at the moment in Gaza. It could be a lot worse. And that's the thought that came into my mind before. That from whatever spiritual connection I have with Jesus, where I hear him every so often, the emphasis on is getting better. So you're telling me because the genocide in Gaza isn't even worse, it's all okay? Because my life isn't even worse, even though I have no oxygen to breathe, the depression and the torture of how to get through today is beyond me. You want me to say it's all okay? Well, I've claimed I'm Brahma. That's what I got a spiritual download. When was it? About a week or two ago? That I'm Brahma, the center of the universe. I'm still human, but I've been told your life has a mark on it of a massive X that says the center of the universe. So for all intents and purposes, I have no godship. I can't perform miracles. But I'm happy to take the label of Brahma because I've gone through experiences that say my life might be the center of the universe. My life. I still have to live this life, and it's really hard. I don't understand it. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. My message is probably going to be pulled out of me actually confronting him, because it's been this weird dynamic of I knew him, I won't say his name, I knew him as X. I knew him as X. And all these years he's X to me. But within me I know he's Jesus. But the way I communicate with him is like he's just an average person. And I reckon there's a message coming soon that says, hey X, what's going on? Not been able to voice it all these years, but let's get it out in the open. You're Jesus. That's kind of cool, I know Jesus, but really and truly, if you're Jesus, I've got beef with you, Jesus. You're a living God, you're the Messiah. You died for our sins, apparently. That's the story. But all I ever see from you is that you're on holiday most of the year. Help me out, Jesus. Explain to me where I'm going wrong in this picture. The one on Jesus.